Welcome back to Hot Tub Johnny's Hunnypot Live with Jeff Gray and our guest, platinum-selling musician Chuck Wright.
Nice. Yeah. All right. That's fantastic.
Oh, man, that's
Welcome,
right.
Chuck.
Exactly.
Thank you for coming.
I'm glad to finally be here.
Chuck, he's a rock star. He's a sought-after bass player and the creator of the ultimate jam night, Fam Jam.
Jam Fam.
Jam Fam.
He created a community,
Well, we call it
the Jam Fam.
community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're going on our 5th year now. We're at the Whiskey A Go Go. It's a free show.
Yeah.
It's about building the community, the music community.
Yeah.
DJs were taking over. Sorry about the last music, but DJs were taking over. And we said, no. I said, no.
Back to the players.
Let's get everybody,
bring
let's
the
start
players
socializing, and let's get the music community happening.
A little bit closer to the mic, too, when we talk.
You got it.
All right.
Speaking of playing, then where did it begin for you? What was the start?
It began right here in Hollywood.
Was there an impetus? Was there a moment when you were a child when a song hit you or an event?
You know what? My mom gave me this little keyboard, and I learned House of the Rising Sun.
Okay.
So, and right away, and music just kind of stuck with me. Then I took guitar lessons when I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Cut to a few years later, I'm out playing my acoustic guitar, and these guys come up to me. They're like 16 and 17. I'm big for my age. I'm like 14. They go, "Hey, man, you play guitar?" And I go, "Well, kind of." They go, "You want to play bass in our band?" And I go, "Bass? What's that? Like 4 strings, right?"
Yeah.
Let me ask my mom. So I did that, and I started playing in a band.
She got you a bass then? You were like, okay.
She got me a bass, and at that time I was
Nice.
in military school for almost 9 years, second in command of the battalion. I'm going to the Air Force Academy,
Oh, man,
etc.
you signed
And
up.
I did my first gig was UCLA for fraternity party.
Yeah.
And I made $75. I drank beer, and the
Yeah.
girls thought I was cute, and I was out of the military.
You're in. Forget
You're
it.
rock and roll.
New plan.
That's right, a whole new plan.
Living the dream.
Yeah. I started playing the Hollywood circuit with a few different bands. I had my own band called Sadder that was a progressive kind of rock band. I wrote all the music for it. We were the first band in history of rock and roll to have a Krypton laser show.
A laser show, really?
Yeah, we were the very first guys, and I wrecked my right eye looking into it.
Oh, no.
Big
Wow.
mistake. These are,
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I hooked up with Kevin DuBrow for his band DuBrow.
All right,
we'll get to that.
let's back up a little bit.
All right.
All right.
Because we're going to talk about these through your playlist also.
All right.
But still, I'm curious, where did you get your first bass? I mean, did you go...
Okay.
Is it Sears?
No, actually, when I asked my mom about the bass, there was a
Mom and pop
store,
store.
a mom and pop store, definitely in Northridge,
right.
because I grew up in the Valley.
All right.
And I got this a Fender bass at first,
Yeah.
which was just too big for my hands, I thought. And at the time, Jack Bruce was my inspiration,
Sure.
like Cream, and so I got a EB3, Gibson EB3 like his.
Yeah.
Did it have the fuzz circuit?
It was.
It had the fuzz circuit in it, right?
No, I don't think so.
That might have been the EBO then.
Yeah, it was a 3, and it was just like his bass.
Yeah.
And I could tell you a story about the bass, so if you want to do it now, we can do it later.
I want to hear the story about the bass.
Okay, the bass story, that bass,
Yeah.
okay, the Jack Bruce bass, I'm on tour with Vanilla Fudge. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. But,
Of course, yeah.
Set me free, why don't you, baby?
Very good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, the opening act's band, his bass player, inherited $250 million. His dad started Pfizer, the Viagra company.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he was buying up all this.
He had a real hard on
memorabilia.
for basses.
That's right. He did. He was a bass player. Anyway, so he invited me to his house in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I went to his house, and I'm checking out. He had Jimmy Page's amps. He had all these different things. And on the wall, the bass, the first song I ever learned, Sunshine of Your Love.
Yeah.
He had the bass that was played on.
Wow.
And I said,
Yeah.
I got to play that bass.
Yeah,
And it was like total full circle for me.
Yeah.
Total full
Wow.
circle.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Awesome.
That's good. Did you participate in like the high school marching band or
You
anything
know
like
what? I
that?
wanted to be the bass player, but they already had one, so I was a clarinet player.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, I
And that's
feel
how
you.
I kind of learned.
Did your
feel
time.
You know what? I could have gone into sax, but they had a clarinet anyway. Anyway, so I played clarinet. That's where I got some music background as far as notation and all that. I never did study music. I never took a lesson in my life, over 100 albums or whatever it is. And my teachers were all the great rock bands that came into L.A.
Sure,
when I was
sure.
14, My friends drive in. We see the Whiskey A Go Go. It says yes, $5.
Yeah.
And I go, I heard that band Yes is really good.
Yeah.
And so I saw them like their first show
let's go.
ever.
Wow.
I saw Black Sabbath's first show ever at the Whiskey.
Yeah.
And it was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life. And they put Ozzy up on this ramp. He wasn't even on the stage. It was
Wow.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was my classroom, was seeing
Yeah.
great
So
bands.
do you actually read music?
I do
officially?
not.
So it's all
You can
just,
give me a
just
chord
learn
chart.
it?
You can
Yeah.
give me a chord chart. I can
Yeah.
get myself through it.
Yeah.
I did a film session
Yeah.
with Matt Sorum. You might know him from Guns N' Roses and
course.
all these bands. I called. Anyway, both of us were hired to do this thing with the London Philharmonic.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of us had a clue. The lady shows up with all this music.
Yeah.
And she started crying when I told her, "Sorry, this isn't going
I
to
don't
help
need
me.
any of this.
Just play the song. We'll come up with some parts."
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, well,
exactly.
you know.
So
Neil
you're,
Young doesn't read either. Come on.
so you're playing around Hollywood, Los Angeles. When did you meet Kevin then? At what time?
The guitar player in my band at the time
Yeah.
ended up joining his band,
Okay.
and they something happened with the bass player they had, and he suggested me, and they thought I was too proggy or too much or whatever progressive, but
Yeah.
they gave me a shot, and then I got into the band.
Yeah.
We ended up doing the demos that became the Mental Health record, and that band. The guitar player got axed because he had a fit and threw his amps on the ground one show. Kevin goes, I can't take this.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting Carlos Cavazzo in the band.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Carlos,
that's
great.
where a lot of the Mental Health record were the actual demos that became the big 10 million selling record. Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had no clue.
And then, like 30 years later, I licensed one of those demos, for the label I was at. There was a Thunderbird, right?
Yes, it was Thunderbird. It was a demo, all right.
Which is, in my opinion, better
beautiful
than the album version.
It kinda, yeah.
Just a little bit better.
A little bit more heart.
Well, I know it was a huge record because it was the first record, a metal record.
First heavy metal record to hit number one spot in the Billboard.
And you know what? And at the time, it was like all the bands like the Knack, the Motels. In fact, when a manager I had said, if you cut your hair and put on a skinny tie,
Yeah.
I can get you guys signed. I'm going, no. But anyway, so
Yeah.
it happened anyway. Started.
You could have been the next Donnie Iris.
It actually opened the doors for a lot of the bands. I mean, they started signing anybody that had big hair.
I know that there are a lot of Giuffria fans out there. Talk
yeah.
about.
Can you say Giuffria? That was
I
the
think
problem
you can,
with the
right?
band.
No
was
one,
the
can,
name.
no one can get it out there, huh?
I learned how to say it in print. I don't think I ever heard it.
Giuffria.
The,
I just
the
guessed
record
it.
company, we were talking about naming that band.
Yeah.
And this is the president of the label. He used to be the head of Casablanca that signed Kiss. He goes,
Yeah.
"What's Giuffria? A bug on the wall? What the hell is that?" Anyway.
Neil Bogart, right?
Yeah. Well, Neil was part of it, but this was
Yeah.
the guy that was right under
Oh,
him.
okay.
That started Camel Records, which signed us and Night Ranger and some other bands.
Nice.
And that at that time.
Yeah.
Through MCA it was, yeah.
Yeah. How
But-
you've been a part of a lot of projects and a lot of different record deals.
Well, with that band, we were very fortunate. We had a hit single,
Yeah.
and it was my first tour, real tour. It was all sold out. We opened up for Deep Purple, and then we opened up for Foreigner. We got off the Deep Purple tour because Richie Blackmore, I don't know if you know Richie.
Of course,
He freaked after our first show and basically castrated us. We were either off the tour. We had to get off the tour.
Too good.
No.
Is it bad?
This is what he did. He goes, you got to take your last song out.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
You can't have any stage props.
Yeah.
We're going to cut your sound in half, your lighting in half.
Yeah.
And Goldie's guitar solo. Now, Goldie went on to play with Dio, but that guitar solo is out.
Yeah.
And we're going to cut your set from 45 minutes to 27 minutes. You're going to go on 5 minutes before the announced showtime. We're going to tape off where you can walk. We're taking away your crew. Everything to get us to quit. We would not quit. We go, no, we're going to continue on.
Yeah.
And on our last show, in the middle of their biggest point of their concert, somehow all the lights in the stadium went out. All the power went off. I have no idea.
The great black.
It
That was the great
me.
Deep Purple blackout of.
Exactly.
I'll show you 27 minutes.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, exactly. So we jumped onto the Foreigner tour, which was actually wonderful too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they had a hit. I Want to Know What Love Is was out at that time. It was number one, so it was sold
Yeah.
out. But that was my first experience, thinking it's always going to be sold out arenas. But
Sure.
it's been
Sure.
like
Yeah,
this.
there's always
It's been
highs
like
and lows.
this.
But you've played with some incredible artists. Alice Cooper, Slash, Greg Allman, Carmine Appice. Montrose, Ronnie Montrose.
Yeah, I was in Ronnie's
John
band
Wayne,
for a year.
Pat Travers.
Yeah, we're gonna play a song from that you played on, which is a.
No, I
you didn't
wasn't-
play on this?
Not on Rock
Oh, I
Candy,
thought
no.
you did.
No,
oh,
no,
I'm
no.
sorry.
His favorites.
My bad.
No, Rock Candy came out. I was still in high school.
That's what I was saying. I was like surprised. I don't know.
No,
Never mind then.
But I did play it live with Ronnie. I was in his band for over a year
Right.
until I got one of the drummers that we had in the Montrose band was Eric Singer, who's in Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Alice Cooper as well.
Yep.
And he said, "Hey, we need a bass player. Do you want to check it out?" And so that's how I left Ronnie and joined Alice
Yeah.
Cooper for that tour.
Wow.
And I actually got one of my closest friends the gig in Montrose, so it worked out. And then he joined Styx.
Wow.
It's all like changing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like chess. You know, put this
Yeah.
guy there, that guy over there.
It's kind of like what
Who's-
Ultimate
who's
Jam
ava-
is.
who's
It's like
available?
kind of like all your friends.
All
that,
my
that
friends,
play in
yeah.
bands.
Ultimate Jam Night is all professional musicians, and
Yeah.
there's 45 to 70 of them that come down, and it's a different theme each week.
The Whiskey every
At the Whiskey
Tuesday
Go
night.
Tuesday free. This week we're doing Dave Grohl's music from all of his bands.
Nice.
Foo Fighters and Nirvana and the
That's-
Vultures and all that.
That's epic.
Should be fun.
I've been there a bunch of times. Jeff
good.
Gray is a regular.
He is a regular.
You will
Thank
always
Jeff.
see Jeff Gray there in front of the Whiskey.
That's right.
They still
For
won't
sure.
let him in.
If you don't see him inside, he's in front.
Yeah, man.
You know. Well, let's get into your set here. You know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come back and,
what do you-
and talk
yeah.
more about the groups after this too.
Yeah. What are we opening with?
Bang your head.
Oh my God!
This is the
This
number one,
this is the
number
anthem.
one
This is the
lead-off
anthem.
single of number one album, first
Yeah.
heavy metal album to go number one in the world.
It was the bass is mixed nice and loud too. By the way, I get a lot of records. I
Great
can't
chorus.
even hear myself.
Great
Yeah,
chorus.
yeah.
effect.
Okay, now the chorus of that song, "Bang Your Head."
Yeah,
a little early.
That's the drum
Just a
intro.
little tease.
Anyway.
Just a little tease right there. It's just a little tease right there.
You might want to know that this song was originally called "No More Booze," so it was like "No More Booze." What a drag!
If that had happened, you probably would not be sitting here.
No,
today.
no. And anyway, Kevin was talking to Randy Rhoads, who was with
Yeah.
Ozzy at the time, and he said, "Yeah, the kids over here are doing this thing called banging your head. They're bashing their heads up and down."
Yeah.
And Kevin light goes off, and he goes, "No more booze, bang your head." That's a great idea. And then he came with mental health instead of mental health.
Yeah.
Will drive you mad, and that's
Yeah.
how that song kind of happened. And when we recorded it, I was asleep on the couch in the studio.
Yeah.
They wake me up. They go, "Chuck, time to do the bass." And I went, "What? I didn't think I was recording tonight." They go, "No, get up here. You're going to do it."
yeah.
So I got in there one take, except for the very last note, because they're holding out.
Really?
But one take, first take.
Yeah.
That's it.
One take, one overdub.
Yeah, it was great. Well, just the last note.
One
Yeah,
take,
yeah.
Chuck.
Yeah.
On that song, yes.
Nice.
It felt good. I said, "Turn it up." Here we go.
Yeah. And did you guys know it when you finished that record?
Like I said,
you
I
didn't
thought
really
it was
know.
really great, but at the time,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like my Sharona.
Lightning
So
in a
it's
ball.
a lot
You
different
caught it.
thing.
You
Yeah.
caught it. All
We
right.
changed open the door.
Let's get into it right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chuck Wright on Hunnypot Live.
Yay!
Shit, I would.
Hot Tub Johnny!
And we're back on air with Hot Tub Johnny, Jeff Gray, and special guest Chuck Wright.
Yes, Chuck.
Tub Johnny!
That was a fantastic set right there,
What a rock
Chuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's a rock
Yes.
set.
Man, it was rocking.
So many to choose from,
Nice. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. There are so many songs that you've been involved in,
I've been very
and
fortunate,
so many
very
artists.
blessed,
You
very
know,
blessed.
I can't believe you didn't put that Beatles song that you played on in there.
Beatles.
The original one. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, that's before my time. I did see them, though, on TV.
Ed Sullivan. Ed Sullivan.
We had a hypothetical talk today, real fast. I'll say it about. We always talk about the origin story, what made you get into it, and we always say like, oh, it was the Ed Sullivan on.
That's the
Beatles.
most. That's the biggest. That's the biggest answer that we.
So true. I remember clearly being maybe 6,
Yeah.
5, standing on my fireplace with my tennis racket, and my sister and her girlfriend, who were older than me,
Yeah.
being the go-go dancers.
Yeah.
And I was playing, not the Beatles though,
Yeah.
but it was the same ilk. Dave Clark 5
Oh, of
happened to
course,
be
of
my
course.
favorite band
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
had a
yeah.
sax. I don't know why, but at that time.
Saxes are sexy.
Yeah, saxes are sexy. Anyway, so yeah, I do remember that was very influential. Yeah.
Nice.
And oh, you know what? I pictured all the little shag carpets
Yeah.
pieces coming up
Yeah.
as the audience.
Yeah,
So there's
the
like
heads.
thousands of people, and
So that day was also the first day you dropped acid.
I envisioned that. That was my
Yeah,
life. I
yeah.
envisioned that. It happened.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's a
There
great
you
thing.
go.
You know,
We
setting your goals.
That's an
you
eye
know.
for detail.
We just
Saying, hey.
Quiet Riot just played for 55,000 people at Heavy
Whoa.
Montreal.
Whoa.
And we were
That's heavy.
Yeah, I mean, and the acts on it were pretty heavy bands like Slayer.
Was Anvil on there?
But bands like Slayer, and I thought we were going to get murdered, with the crowd, but they loved it. They sang all the songs.
Come
it was
on.
great.
Quiet Right's timeless.
Yeah.
Timeless. You know, no question
We're
about
rocking.
it.
We're going. We had a documentary on Showtime, and we keep
Dude,
going.
Speaking of Quiet Riot.
no, I want to,
Okay.
if people have not seen the documentary film, well, now you're here.
There's no way
You
back.
absolutely have to see this documentary film on Quiet Riot, because
It
there
covers-
are I'm a big documentary fan. I love band biopics, and there were a couple that came out around the same time. The Twisted Sister documentary representing the East Coast, and the Quiet Riot documentary representing the West Coast, and they're both fabulous.
Well, we had cameras on us for a couple years.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I thought it might be a home movie, and
Yeah.
I was blown away. Honestly, blown away when I saw it. Regina Russell did an amazing job.
Yeah.
It's Frankie's current wife.
Yeah.
And just totally blew me away. It won a bunch of awards and went to Cannes Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And Showtime said, we'll give it a couple weeks to see how it goes. It was on there for 2 years.
Wow.
So it tells the whole history, the good,
Yeah,
all the blemishes.
Even
are
if you're not a fan of
Yeah.
Quiet Riot or never
No.
heard of them, it's a film that really
It's a touching tale of
the struggles of a band, how hard
life
it is
and
to
defeat
make
and
it,
loss
and what you have to do.
and rebirth, and it's like the phoenix.
trying to get back up on that horse after losing your singer. Yeah, it's tough.
Well, let's go through your set here.
All right.
And this is your history.
Well,
a lot of your history.
I want to talk about Bass Case.
Okay, Bass Case, that happened in '87. I was back in the band. We're doing an album called QRIII.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting in the studio, and the producer goes, "Okay, Carlos, you ready for your classical Spanish guitar thing?" And he goes, "Oh man, I forgot about that." And I said, "I have something."
Yeah.
So I played the demo of Bass Case, which actually is 12 different tracks of basses weaving in and out. It's only 55 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a piece of, it's like a movie tapestry type film music thing.
Yeah.
But they loved it, and they made it on the album.
Nice.
I do a live version of it now with drums
Yeah.
behind me.
Yeah.
With Frankie playing with me, so
Yeah.
it fills it up really nice.
That's killer.
Yeah.
After that, you had House of Lords.
Yeah. This song was brought in for us to cover the Traffic song.
Yep.
And we
Find
said,
My
well,
Way
if we're gonna cover "Can't Find My Way Home," we really have to do it.
Blind Faith.
Yeah, by Blind Faith.
Okay.
Eric Clapton and Stevie Winwood. We really had to do it differently, so we added a much heavier section on the back half. And radio stations at the time were testing it by playing their version and our version, and people would call in and vote for, and we won hands down almost every time.
Yeah.
And that
Fuck
song,
you, Steve Winwood.
and that song, it was 1990. Went on to be the #1 most requested song on rock AOR radio.
Wow.
And, we were with RCA, which is really a country label. And to this day, I believe if we would have been on more of a rock-oriented label, it would have been a huge band. Just major.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's the way it goes.
This is the way it goes. No doubt about it.
House of Lords. That was a great band, though.
It was. It's an amazing band live,
that,
definitely.
That's
Kelly-
and that was totally a musician's band, too. Like, all the musicians were like, oh, I got to play like that.
Was that Kelly Hansen is the singer of
No.
House of Lords?
No, that's
Who is it?
Hurricane.
Hurricane, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And
that's right.
Foreigner now.
James Christian
Yeah.
was the singer
All right.
in the band at the time. Greg Giuffria from Angel, then Giuffria.
Lanny, right? Was Lanny in House
Lanny
of Lords?
Cordola
Yeah.
was a big part of that. He's been a big part of my life musically.
Sure.
So we got Montrose next. You play with Montrose, so we played a
I
Montrose
did.
track.
I was asked to check out Ronnie, and I played with him and toured with him for about a year and a half, which was amazing because I love that album. It's my top 10
Yeah.
favorite rock records. Is the first Montrose record with Sammy Hagar. And in fact, here's a story you don't know.
Okay.
When I was 18, a friend of mine knew Sammy Hagar and said, hey, he broke up with Montrose. He's not with him anymore, and he's looking for a bass player. I can get you an audition. So I drove all the way up to Mill Valley. It's outside of San Francisco. And I went to his house. He had a little studio down in his basement. And I jammed with him, and he showed me some songs. And at the time, I had a Rickenbacker and was totally into Yes and all these prog bands.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Totally the wrong guy
Yeah.
and too young.
Yeah.
He was 25, and the drummer at the time was Carmacy's little brother. He was 19.
Vinny? Did you say Carmine?
No, Carmacy.
Oh,
Yeah, who was
the Carmine?
the drummer that was in
Got
in Montrose, his younger brother, and it was just he was 25 or too young.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't get it, but hey, it was cool.
Yeah.
And I got to say hi to him recently. We did a Legends of Rock cruise, and I chatted with him and told him the story, and he goes, "Oh yeah."
You reminded him.
Remember
Yeah.
the basement? Yeah, you had that picture of Ronnie Montrose to flip off every time you walked by it. I remember that.
He's like, how did that audition for Yes turn out?
Yeah. It was I was just
You were in Emerson, Lake and Palmer,
young
right?
and inexperienced.
That's an awesome story.
That happened.
Yeah. That's good. Well,
Yeah, so anyway, I ended up playing with Ronnie until I got a call from, like you said earlier, from Eric Singer saying, hey, do you want to try out for Alice Cooper?
Yeah.
They're going to go out on a 75-city, 17-country tour. First class. It was one of the best times of my life.
Yeah.
From Moscow to Lisbon, all through Europe and
Oh, wow.
the United States, Canada.
Yeah.
And Alice was great. I went shopping with him constantly. During the day, I'd meet him for breakfast. We'd go shopping.
Did you
and
play
he-
poker?
Part of the job requirement they said you got the gig, but you got to do two things.
Yeah.
I had long blonde hair down to here at the time. They go, you got to cut your hair, dye it dark, and you have to play cards every night until 2:00, and then whatever.
There you go.
So I was losing my ass in the beginning, but I started playing like him. I started watching how he was playing, and I started to catch up, and I broke even.
And then they kicked you out of the game?
And then I broke. But they were crazy games. It was like Teddy. Zigzag was in the band at the time. He's Guns N' Roses, and he had like a little nun he brought in. They had to. It was just you'd have to be there, I guess, to see it, but it was pretty crazy.
We've seen him here with Billy Bob Thornton's band.
Billy Bob, yeah, that's a great band.
Yeah, of course.
Teddy's a great guy.
Yeah.
I did a solo record actually, too.
Yes.
Before there was golf, before Alice was playing golf,
I think he was always playing
cards.
golf,
It
though.
was
You know
wasn't
what?
cards,
He
right? I
came
don't know
out
if
with
he
a golf ball.
Oh, yeah?
You know, they go, what's that extra white thing? Oh, that's a golf ball that he brought with him when he was born.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he won the amateur, pro amateur
Oh, yeah. He's
contest. No, our first,
He's solid.
we started pre-production up in North Dakota, and he went and played golf and won it.
Oh, right. Even
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Wow,
He brought
all
home a
right.
trophy. He goes, anybody want it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Seriously, yeah.
So then we went on to Pat Travers.
Yeah, now that goes back to the story about the bass and Cream.
Yeah.
I always wanted to record a Cream song, and Carmine called me up. Carmine Appice called me up about doing their Travers in a Peace record. I played on half of it, and the great Tony Franklin played on half of it, and I got to do a Cream song, and
Yeah.
it was such a blessing to be with those guys. I felt like I was in Cream when we were rehearsing. It just, when Pat Travers takes a solo, he plays it like it's the last solo he's going to play the rest of his life. He
Yeah.
means every note.
Well, you were matching them. They were thunderous bass
Yeah,
playing there.
I had a great time
you were
doing that.
channeling.
That was produced by Pat Regan, who was in my band I spoke of earlier called Satyr. That was my prog band.
Yeah.
He went on to produce Kiss and Deep Purple, and he produced that record.
Nice.
On The Politician, did you play an EB bass?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm
I
surprised.
didn't. No, that was my Spectre.
I'm surprised.
No, I don't have one of those anymore.
All right.
I don't know what happened to that bass. Mistakenly sold it, probably.
Yeah, exactly. And then an odd one for a lot of people.
And I brought this song up only because we just lost Eddie Money.
Yeah.
And I have hung out with Eddie. The most recent time was at LAX. He was leaving on a flight. We were leaving on a flight. We all had breakfast, and he's a great guy. So funny. We actually did a show with him too in Florida.
Sure.
But before that, I was teamed up with just him and I to sing background on that song "Gonna Raise Hell."
Yeah.
With
Sam
Eddie-
Kinison.
Sam
you know.
Kinnison's album. And,
Is that the famous album with Wild Thing? Is it
Yeah,
that
yeah.
album?
And Sam was singing his ass off. It sounded great. And I got teamed up with Eddie, and Andy Johns told me a story. Andy, the producer that did Zeppelin, and
The Who.
I did 3 albums with him. Anyway, he said that Eddie was at LAX and called him up on back then. The dial phone called him up on the telephone and said he's mixing the album. He goes, "Yeah, play me a mix, play me something." So Eddie's listening. He goes, "Hey Andy, Where's the low end, man? I don't hear any low end. He goes, you're on a freaking phone. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Right. Don't expect it.
Yeah, Andy was great too.
So they pulled everyone in the studio, and you guys just gang.
Yeah, no,
sang,
he just
right?
had the
You
two
know?
of us. We multi-tracked it many times.
All right, you did.
Richie Zito was producing it.
Yeah.
Who produced Cheap Trick, so
Yeah.
it was a perfect guy for that track.
Did you realize that was going to be such a huge record? You know, Sam was
Sam Kinison?
certainly
No,
huge.
I had no idea. No.
But him doing vocals and
Leading
being,
the band,
being a
no.
band, you know, that was
No, he
certainly
had
different.
a lot of '80s guys on it.
Yeah.
I was just happy that I got a call to sing with Eddie.
Paul
I didn't
did.
know it was going to be Eddie. They just said, "Show up, you're going to sing." I go, "Okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Were you
And, you know,
shaking when you met him?
Yeah. Well, rest in peace. You know.
Rest in peace.
He was a really great guy. He really was. Really,
Yeah.
yeah.
No
sad.
doubt.
And
And
Mr.
then
Big.
the closer.
Well, the closer.
Change.
I basically chose it because another person that we lost was one of my best friends is Pat Torpy,
Yeah.
the drummer, Mr. Big, and they did an
Rest in
unusual
peace.
combination. It was a tribute, but not a tribute album to them. They had all these people like Paul Rogers and Ann Wilson from Heart, and all on this record of their songs.
Yeah.
And I played bass on most of it.
Nice.
And on the track, Doug Pinnick and Ty Tabor from King's X.
Yeah.
And it's one of the rare times that I played a bass with a pick. My car says, my license plate says no picks.
Wow.
I have picks that say I don't use a pick. But on that song, I used it with echo delay,
Yeah.
which was kind of a unique kind of a thing to do for them.
That's cool.
But,
Very
yeah,
rare.
you know. But I loved Pat. I miss him. He was a great guy.
Yeah. Nice. Well, that was fantastic then, you know.
Well, speaking of picks, I have one
Yeah.
more little story. I did Ted Nugent's record, which happens to be a great title. If you
Yeah.
can't lick 'em, lick 'em.
Yeah.
It's a great title.
Yeah.
And he
I like
insisted.
that record.
He insisted that I use a pick, right? I go, okay, whatever. But the thing with him, which is kind of unique, besides his stack of Polaroids of dead animals and that he'd go shoot his bow and arrow during the break, was if I tried to enhance the part too much, he would drop a pearl-handled 45 automatic on the ground.
Yeah.
And I went, I guess that means I'm not supposed to play that.
Yeah.
No. Keep it simple. Anyway.
Wow, that's wild. And we have to mention, you know, you have been involved in a lot of film scores. You know, you mentioned the Mass
in the
Sword. Was
90s
that Cole the Conqueror?
Cole the Conqueror is the Universal film that with the London Philharmonic where we just said, give us the music
That's the
and we'll
one.
come up with parts.
Exactly.
And, yeah,
That's
that was a
perfect.
unique experience.
Because that's a
but
big cult classic film.
It is.
You know?
We did a bunch of independent films, and one of them was at Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
And Slash and
Yeah.
Duff were part of it, and we played live. And my favorite thing from that show, and I got to play drums too with those guys, but my favorite thing about that show was Slash going up and going, the crowd goes crazy, goes, not gonna happen.
Was that the film with Gina Gershon?
away.
Was she your singer? Was that band?
No.
Okay.
It's a different film, but yeah, he totally teased the audience. They were. It was packed.
Yeah.
All
That's
film
all right.
people, you
all
know.
fun, all good times.
Yeah. But yeah, making films is an interesting thing to do because you have so many producers and so many people trying to tell you what the pulling you
Lots
here
of
and there.
cooks.
But it was fun. Yeah.
Good,
Matt
good.
at Matt's studio, Matt Storm's studio.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
That was amazing.
you have led an incredible life as a
And
player,
I'm trying to
Chuck,
continue.
you know.
Every day counts, people. Make them count. Make them count.
I encourage everyone to go check out the Ultimate Music.
Ultimate Jam Night.
Ultimate Jam Night.
Hollywood Whiskey
Usually
Tuesday
Jam
nights.
Fam, Jam Fam every Tuesday. Exactly. That's a
Tuesday,
legendary
9
whiskey.
p.m. start.
And like Honeypot, it's free. So
It's a
you know,
free
it's,
show.
It's
I think
hard
it's free
to,
21 and
not,
up. 18 is
Yeah, if you're 18, it's $10 because they don't drink and
Yeah.
It's good towards a drink. I can't quote it.
whatever.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
you'll be there. You'll be there.
I will be there this week. Yes,
Nice,
we're doing Dave
excellent.
Grohl's music, so it should be
A lot of Foo
fun.
Fighters, a lot of Nirvana.
Yeah. I'm doing Everlong, which is a great song.
Hey, boy, is it ever long.
Best of Me is a great song. I'm doing
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm doing David
catalog.
Bowie's song. So
And super fun. So.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. Here we go.
Everybody, put your hands together for Chuck Wright on Hunnypot Live.
keep
Coming up, Len Notchka, Plastic Otters, and Alexandrova, a mermaid that slays the piano.
Yes.
And up next, we have Mr. Max.
That's right. Mr. Max taking the stage moments from now. We're gonna get back and play a few more songs and see if we can get some dancing into play right here.
All right.
So this is brand new Sweetie. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you.